You saw just a few short moments ago Sean D. Tucker in that bright red biplane known as the Oracle Challenger, and Benjamin Freelove in that silver and blue German-built Extra 300 as they departed the airport. They are circling overhead, climbing for approximately 3,500 feet of altitude. And then in just a few short moments, they are going to dive down and give you a 10-minute sequence. It's just a preview of the newest formation team in North America. They're called the Collaborators. When in full force, it's 4 aircraft. Sean D. in the in the Oracle Challenger, 2 Extra 300s, one of which is also flown by Sean's 27-year-old son, Eric. And then rounding out the formation is Bill Stein in the American-built Edge 540. Here today we have Sean and Ben. They're actually going to start by flying the first half of the entire Collaborators sequence. They will then split up into individual sections of the aerobatic box, with Sean taking the close inside, where he is going to work on some of his solo maneuvers, which you're going to see him do later today in his full 15-minute power aerobatic routine. And Ben will remain towards the back of the aerobatic box to work on some of his solo sequence. Next week, we're going to practice right up the road in Piqua, Ohio, to get ready for the next 3 air shows featuring all 4 aircraft in the Collaborators. So I'm going to invite my good buddy Rob to come on up here and help me as we describe the action of the 2-ship version of the Collaborators formation aerobatic team.
Now, as they go over the top and come back down the backside, I've got to understand how this all works, because Sean Tucker, you can hear him as he talks to Ben and talks him through as they do the echelon barrel roll. The echelon means that Sean leads and Ben stays slightly behind, slightly below Sean, but is visually married to a spot on the airplane. You, as a formation pilot, you don't have any idea where the ground or the sky is.
No, Rob, you don't. Actually, I'll call myself a junior formation pilot. It's a lot of work, and I am not at these guys' level. But yeah, actually what you'll do is you will find 2 spots on the lead aircraft, and you try to, well, not try, you do keep those 2 spots perfectly lined up while in flight. So actually you have no reference to the ground or what's going on outside of your little box there. You are married, as you said, to that lead aircraft. You go where he goes.
And the operative word is trust.
It's all about trust. It's all about training. We fly approximately, I would estimate, 5 to 6 rehearsal flights for each performance flight that we do.
Now, we just saw half of a Cuban 8. Now, watch them as they climb up over the top. Normally, if it were a normal Cuban 8, what would happen is they would roll the aircraft into the upright position, but not now. On the way down, they're going to stay outside. They call it the jim-jam. Watch them as they come. This is one of the hardest maneuvers happening because everything is working kind of backwards, isn't it?
Yeah, Rob, in most formation flying, you're always pulling positive G's. In this maneuver, Sean is leading Ben around, and on the back side of this maneuver, they're actually negative G's. So anywhere, actually on the back side of that maneuver, upwards of about 4 negative G's, which is very uncomfortable, and you're still trying to maintain that perfect position next to the lead aircraft.
Yeah, it feels like there's a vice on your head as all of that blood rushes into your head, and it will make you see red because your retinas will absorb all that blood, and you'll actually red out.
Red out, they call it. You'll see a lot of really hardcore, especially the competition aerobatic pilots, after a real high negative G flight, they will actually come back with blood vessels in their eyes that have ruptured, so their eyes will be red for the next couple of days, yes.
Yeah. All right, coming in, a couple of 100 miles an hour. Formation. Ben Freelove from the Tutima Academy of Aviation Safety, tucked nicely, slightly behind and below and right on the wing of Sean Tucker as they do the clover down. It's a loop, but they put about a 90-degree turn on it, and watch them as they head out into the back course. Watch them as they now pull up. And Ben is going to work his way almost up to line abreast. They're going to run out of airspeed, and they're going to do what they call the fountain of youth. Watch them as Sean half rolls, and they turn into each other for the simultaneous hammerhead stall turn. Now diving down, we can hear Sean as he sets up for the rejoin, getting the power on in that 400 horsepower Oracle Challenger in the 300 horsepower, extra 300. Ben working hard to tuck himself back into position on Sean Tucker's wing. Here is one that's really deceptively simple.
That's right, Rob. Sean is going to lead Ben through the formation barrel roll. It's essentially, there's two types of rolls that we do. There's the aileron roll, which is a very rapid roll, about a point, and then of course there's this maneuver, the barrel roll. You are using all of the controls. It's never the same thing all the way around. And right now, Rob, they're going to break up into what we mentioned, the solo portion of the sequence. And Sean wanted me to make sure that we mention that the Collaborators is in fact a collaboration effort. All four of the pilots flying on the team, including Benjamin Freelove, are instructors at Sean's school in California. It's called the Tutima Academy of Aviation Safety. All four of them are considered to be at the top of their level of aerobatic flying, and it's a collaboration between Team Oracle and between the Tutima Academy of Aviation Safety.
Snap roll on the way down. Sean Tucker going through several high-speed stalls one way and then unwrapping it the other. Winding it up and unwinding it. There's 220 miles an hour.
Right there at the bottom of the box, Rob, 220. He's now going to pull up for what we call the spiraling tower. Meanwhile, Ben's going to work on some of his solo sequence towards the back end of the aerobatic box. Sean now pushing over the top. If you watch closely, you'll see him now perform 2.5 outside snap rolls on the way down. He's actually going to stop right here. Another high negative G inverted recovery. Then once he gets back to show center right in front of us, that quick half roll begins the maneuver which we call the Huey Loop.
And that Huey Loop, now watch him as he gets rolling it around. He'll stop this roll here, pushes it over the top, and pushes out negative again, going
Sean is not afraid of negative G's, as you can see. Anywhere from, during a normal sequence, anywhere from -6 to -7.5 G's. And Sean will be the first to tell you, if you ever watched a video of Sean that was shot from inside our cockpit with one of our onboard cameras, you'll see before he does any high negative G maneuver, he'll move his sunglasses up and away from his eyes. And it's not because he's trying to look good for the camera, it is because he is pushing so many negative G's. He has had occasions where his eyes will touch the inside of his sunglasses. So he moves the glasses out of the way so that does not happen.
That's too much information. I don't think I want to know that. Inverted push out. Now watch Sean as he rolls the airplane upright, pulls straight up into the vertical, way out in front of us, climbing through 600, 700 feet with the outside snap rolls on the shoulder rolls on the way up line, and then just continues to roll it diving down. Ben Freelove on the left, looking like he's going to rejoin. He's got the power going as much as they can. A 4-point hesitation roll from Ben Freelove, stopping the airplane every 90 degrees.
Yeah, Robin, I began to mention that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the early part of Thursday of next week, we are actually going to be right up the road in Piqua, Ohio at Hartzell Field with our dear friend, Mr. Jim Brown, training for the next several air shows. We're going to be flying as the Collaborators in Milwaukee. Of course, the biggest show in Wisconsin, the Oshkosh show. We're going to be there. And then a few weeks later, we'll be over in Rockford flying a show. So if the folks haven't got enough or they want to see the full Collaborators, we invite you to come on down to Piqua this week and watch the guys practice.
Sean Tucker dives down, doing a roll across the line, and he's getting into a little simulation now, isn't he? Finishing up with a little lift to the last pass and land.
All right, you heard Sean mention from the cockpit. He is now going to pitch this aircraft vertical. He is going to roll it back to level flight and show you what we call the world's smallest inside loop. A little bit of airspeed. He's now going to pull that stick back. If you watch closely, you'll see the rudder going from side to side as he actually walks the aircraft over the top. Back to level flight. He's going to roll his way down to airshow right. And Rob, you started to mention that he was going to rehearse a maneuver that we're going to do later today. We're almost out of time, so he's not going to do it this morning. But today you're going to see Sean dive down over this line of orange barrels in front of us. We're going to erect 3 sets of ribbons over that line of cones. They're 20 feet above the ground. They're 700 feet apart. Sean, towards the end of our ladder performance today, is going to actually slice all 3 of those ribbons in one single pass in 3 separate flight attitudes. And it's a maneuver that he invented, and he is the only person in the world today to do that particular maneuver. But the folks are going to see that almost half or more of the maneuvers that Sean does in his sequence, he invented, and he is the only one today doing them.
Excellent stuff. Brian Norris, thank you for being here. Sean D. Tucker and Ben Freelove. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a nice round of applause. A great opening, along with a right B flyer to the 2009 Vectren Dayton Airshow presented by Kroger. Brian, we'll see you in a little bit, and we'll be looking for you on ESPN2 this week, all right? Danny Clisham, it's just getting started.
We want to thank so many people, and we will throughout the course of the day. We'd like to thank AT&T on board on our sponsors list.